Hey guys, so this is going to be a little bit of a different video. As promised, I'm going to go through this insert that I've gotten from City Girl Planners and just kind of talk about how I budget every month. I know that oftentimes in the new year, a lot of our goals include getting an organized budget and everything like that. So this is just kind of a mock-up of what I would do for the month. So it's pretty easy and it really keeps me in line with what I need to do. So here, let's just go through everything. So over here on the bill tracker side, I've got all of the bills written down for the month with their due dates. And then I would put the amounts here, and then I would check off as they are paid every month. Here are 3 examples of credit accounts. And what I would do is I would put who it needs to go to, what the minimum payment is, and then I would put the amount that I actually paid, because what I try to do is anytime I am paid, which I'm paid bi-weekly, so I usually get about 2 paychecks a month. So what I would do is if I'm coming up like on a holiday, as we were just with Christmas, I would split these minimum payments in half and pay half on one check and half on the other. That way I'm not shorting myself too much for the holidays. But generally what I do is I try to exceed the minimum payment and pay well over what the minimum payment is. So just right here, if the minimum is $30, then I may pay the entire 30 on one check, pay another 30 on another check. That way I never get behind, and that has always been something that I have done when paying any kind of a credit account, just so that I can't get behind. And yeah, so this is pretty self-explanatory. Now over here, what I have are, I have 3 different ways that I track bills. So here I have all of the credit accounts. So here I would actually put what my starting payment is, or what my starting balance is. And then as I pay it down, I would put in parentheses here what date that it was paid, and I would leave enough room to put, how much I paid for the first time at the beginning of the month, how much I would pay for the second time at the end of the month, and then put my ending balance here, including how much interest I get. So sometimes it can kind of vary. If your payment is not until the middle of the month, it may take to the middle of the next month. Just whenever your billing cycle ends, that's when I would put this ending balance here. And then this little graph here is just kind of a fun little visual for me to mark off. Each block represents $100 that is paid. So I would continue to just fill in until you fill it in completely. Then I would go to the next credit card, do the same thing, and then the next credit card and do the same thing. And then take all of these ending balances and total them up to total debt, which it kind of gives me a visual representation of exactly the big lump sum and how I'm paying it down. Because if you go back through the booklet, you can see how much you were paying down, and it just kind of keeps you motivated. Here I've got blocks for an emergency fund. I do want to follow Dave Ramsey's emergency fund baby step a little bit better. I am paying down my stuff, but I have not created an emergency fund, so that is one of my goals for this year, is to save $1,000 and work the baby steps. And then here, SF stands for sinking fund. So let's say that I needed a new pair of glasses, or if I just wanted to save for a new traveler's notebook or something like that, then I can create a small emergency fund here and do like the cash envelope system that Dave Ramsey recommends, and just sink cash back and then mark up as I go. So it's kind of a fun way to do that. And then over here, I'm left with enough room to create the rest of my budget. So for Dave Ramsey's cash envelope system, he recommends paying cash only for everything and setting a doable budget. So for our family, $400 for groceries is probably stretching it a little bit. We could actually probably scale that back some, but I like to give us a little bit of wiggle room. So I usually set ours at $400, but it can definitely vary from time to time. Gas, that is very much a variance as well, because we don't often go out of town, so we may not even spend the $50. Or if there is a month and we do go out of town, we may spend more than $50. But it's just a good round amount. And at the end of the month, if we still have a little bit of cash left over, we can just add that to next month's, and so we'll definitely stay on track. And then diapers and wipes, and then childcare. You can kind of customize this budget for whatever your needs are. So that is it in a nutshell. I also keep a checkbook register, which is a really good way to visually see and write down exactly where every cent is going. I do still use my debit card. I don't really use cash anymore. But when I was using the cash envelope system, definitely would use this part. So it is completely possible to do a set budget like this with a debit card. It takes a little bit more discipline, but this is how I mock up my I do my bill tracking and everything, and it really keeps me in line with what days bills are due. Once I get the email dropped into my inbox of how much I owe for each one of the bills, it immediately goes in here, and then come next payday, I refer back to this and pay what needs to be paid right then. I don't normally wait to the due date. I usually try to spread my bills out between the two paychecks instead of just going all in on one paycheck. So I hope this is helpful for you. How do you track your bills? I would love to know. I love anything that helps with personal finance and anything like that. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will leave a link for a savings code that you can use for these inserts. They are from City Girl Planners, and I have shown these before on my channel. So anyway, like I said, I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.